Our organization as RimGuard Xtreme started off as a very small company based out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. My first cousin Brian Hall actually initiated the first rim repair business, simply doing cosmetic restoration, and was working out of a small hatchback station wagon, and even had to have mason jars with the lids on that sealed tight to keep the fumes from overwhelming you as you drove down the road. And as this business continued to grow and we started to expand down into the Wilmington area and up into the Jacksonville markets, we saw a huge need for really getting out in front of the customers themselves, the retail aspect of this business. And we would run into a customer on the street and they might say, well, what are you doing right now working on that rim? And we would explain to them that we can make it look brand new, as if it never happened. And that was a really unique thing for that customer, and when they would always come back and say, I wish I knew about you 2 weeks ago before I went to the dealership and spent $600 on a brand new rim, it'd been great to know. And so we decided we needed to get out there in the face of these customers to allow them another option. In a service business like ours, we have to make sure that, the two most important things in being successful is obviously quality and customer service. And you have to be able to create that confidence with that customer from the very initial phone call. And something that, utilizing some of the Verizon type software and the Verizon phones, number one, gave us full coverage throughout the state of North Carolina and South Carolina. But when that customer did make that contact with us, making it simple to where they could text us a picture, it would come into our technicians' phones or right here in our corporate office to where we could visibly walk that customer through the next steps in getting their rim repaired, as well as going ahead and giving them a qualifying estimate as far as what it's going to take to actually repair that rim. We also enabled it to where they could simply email us. We made a barcode to where if they found one of our brochures at a corresponding dealership or tire shop, that they could simply turn that brochure over, scan that barcode with their phone, and we had a mobile phone app that we created that allowed that customer to call us, email us, or again, text a picture right there on the spot. The network at Verizon Wireless allows for pretty much for the full capacity of 4G and most of our operating networks, which is huge for us just for the pure aspect of speed. Of course, with our team leads and with our technicians that are in the field, if we have a drop call, that could be a drop customer. So when we have that customer that reaches out to us and says, I just went through a Burger King and I just scraped my rim and what can I do? We need to be able to reach through that phone, hold that person's hand and walk them through the entire process, and it has to be seamless. So even with going with more of a digital day planner that is through our iPads, as well as going through Field Force Manager that allows us to receive a phone call from a customer that might be located in Charlotte. And the customer says, well, do you have a technician that is close to me right now? And I can have one of our front office employees to go on to Field Force Manager, and through GPS and through the Verizon system, we can locate and see how many miles away our technician might be. So when that phone call comes in and it's dispatched through a text message to that technician's cell phone, it arrives at that technician, it's put on Google Calendars that also arrives on that technician's iPad. There's no interference at all as far as making sure that that customer is taken care of. Something that we decided to incorporate was to try to create a digital invoicing system. We got up with our web team and built an entire invoicing application basically off of the iPad that allows us through the Verizon network to simply go in when we show up to work on a customer's car. That technician then takes their iPad, completes the online invoice of that, submits it, hands it over to the actual customer. The customer can digitally sign that invoice, and then we have either the option of emailing that to the customer to where they can have it in their records permanently, or we can even fax it to them electronically off of our iPad, and our customers absolutely love it.